There was once a scientist who was very smart and enraptured with the human person. And so he spent his whole life studying humanity, biology, psychology, genome, like everything about the human person, trying to learn as much as he could. And he learned so much, he became an expert on humanity. Our minds, our bodies, how we acted, why we did what we did, where we came from, all sorts of things. He became so good at what he did and so intelligent that he even started to go into cloning, and he developed methods of growing human organs and human tissues so that transplants weren't necessary. You could just grow a new liver if you needed one. And then he died, and he met God. And the scientist was very excited, so he went up to God and he said, I've been studying your work a lot. I really enjoy humanity. I learned a lot about them. And all due respect, I think there are some improvements to be made. So God decided to hear him out. He said, all right, what do you mean? And the scientist said, well, I've done some work in cloning and all sorts of things. I think I could make a better person. I could improve on your design, as good as it is. And God said, all right, fine. You and I, we can have a little bit of a competition right here. And the scientist said, great. So God, he stooped down and he scooped up some dust. And he shaped it into the form of a man, and he breathed life into it and created another man. And the scientist said, that's pretty impressive. I'll give you that. But just wait until you see what I can do. So he bent down and he picked up the dust, and God said, no, make your own dust. Everything that we have is a gift from God. From the dust of the earth to the money that we've earned throughout our lives, to our own skills and talents, even to our bodies, to our very lives. None of us made the bodies that we live in. None of us made anything that we have without help from God. And that's what our gospel reading from today is all about. A talent, so you know, doesn't mean quite the same thing back then as it does now. So a talent in those days is actually a weight of measurement. It's a measurement of weight, sorry. And it's actually a weight of gold, which exactly how much is kind of up for debate by historians, but some estimates say that it amounts to about 6,000 days worth of wages. So thousands of dollars, even just one talent. And so when the master goes off on his journey, he gives these talents, these thousands of dollars, to his servants, entrusting them with this huge sum of money. And of course, as with all parables, we aren't just talking about exactly what it's saying. We aren't just talking about money and masters going on journeys. We're talking about our own lives. God is the master. He has left us with these huge sums of blessings. And he's gone on his journey. Jesus rose and he ascended into heaven, and he will come again. And he will settle accounts with us. And so it can seem at first glance that the third servant kind of got the short end of the stick. That he was responsible. He kept his master's money safe. He kept that one talent. He kept it so that when the master came back, he would give it back. And so he wiped his hand of that. But the master entrusted him with this money, and this servant clearly doesn't understand who his master is or what he wants. The servant says that you, master, reap where you did not sow and gather where you did not scatter. He's essentially calling him a thief. He's saying that you're the kind of man who doesn't give anything away. He just takes and takes and takes. You're not willing to invest and to give. You're not willing to plant those seeds and then wait until the harvest time in order to collect the harvest. You just take. But we can see that isn't true. The master gave him a whole talent. The master gave him thousands of dollars. He already has sown. And not only that, not only has the master sown, but he doesn't actually gather in what he has scattered. By the end, the servant who was given 5 talents, and he makes 5 more, the master says that that servant has 10 talents. Not that he's given him 10 talents. The servant actually gets to keep what he made, and even what the master gave him. And so, this third servant is wrong on both accounts. The master does so, but he does not take. It's the same way with us and our blessings. Whether we've been given 1 talent or 2 or 5, we've been given a massive wealth. All of us have been reborn in the waters of baptism. All of us have received the life of Christ in us. This is a sum of money beyond any number of talents. This sum is too much for us to measure. But it's not all that God wants us to have. This infinite life of Christ, this unimaginable sum of blessing, he wants us to use and to grow. Because God is not satisfied with this relationship of master and servant, of him being way up here and us being way down there, and we take what we're given and then we give it back to him. He's not satisfied with this. He wants us to be with him. He wants us to share in our master's joy. This master has made such a large sum of money that he has 8 talents, at least, to entrust to his servants. He's made all this money throughout his life, and now his servants have gotten the opportunity to make money with him. God has granted us blessings throughout our lives. And he doesn't want us to simply bury it, to hide it away, to keep all of our blessings to ourselves so that when we die and at the end of our lives, we can just give it back to him and say, okay, I'm done with that. I don't have to hold on to that anymore. He wants us to take our blessings, to use them, to grow more, to create with him. So that then, when we come to him, we can present, not give back, but present what he has given us and what we have created out of it. The master doesn't take his talents back, and God will not take his blessings back unless we refuse them, unless we force them back on him. So if we accept our blessings, our talents, however many they may be, if we use them and we make more blessings, and we present all of that to God, then he will allow us to keep all of that, to gain still more, and to come in to heaven and share in our master's joy.